and why there will be no speaking during this video. Dr. Henry Bonner McDaniel, licensed silentist. RCA Sound Systems, nobody does silence like RCA.
Did you ever walk through the hall at school when the other children were in their rooms?
And peek on them without getting caught by the police.
Did you ever listen to the sounds that come from the rooms?
The screams of agony and torture.
Some rooms sound like this. What's happening inside?
A 13-year-old is in labor.
It looks as if everyone is busy at work. But it's so noisy. What makes the room so noisy?
The kids all forgot to take their Ritalin today. And if you don't have that lunch money by noon, I'm gonna beat it out of your mother.
Children don't stay in their own work groups.
Daddy, I'll see you after school.
Or maybe I won't.
Sometimes children drop things on the floor.
Kids these days like to drop it like it's hot.
They call across the room and talk out loud.
Daddy, can I use your golden crayon? Sure.
Some hit the bottle too hard, then try to speak.
Yes.
It's hard to think about your own work in such a noisy room. You couldn't learn very much here.
That's right, darling. Well, where did you leave?
Oh, pipe down, you little tramp. Go lick a light socket.
And you couldn't be proud to be part of such a noisy room, could you? Do all the rooms in school sound like this?
They do if it's a public school.
Let's visit another room.
Help us, we're locked in these lockers, help us out.
It's so quiet.
Cricket, cricket.
Aren't there any children in this room?
Yes, they're all just bound and gagged.
Would you tell us what we read?
Oh, there are children here. And they're all busy, too. But there aren't any loud noises. Just the sounds of working.
Whistling while they do
We
it.
call these work sounds. Listen.
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off to school we go. I'll be at your place by 7. Make sure you've got plenty of Cheetos and candles for ambiance. This book would be so much more interesting if there were words on the pages. Hey, it's the 3rd grade Rosie O'Donnell on the right.
All right, you may close your books and go back to your seats. You children may go back to your places, too.
But Johnny, make sure you go back to my place.
Why do you suppose this room is so quiet?
Soundproofing material on the walls?
Perhaps we can learn from the teacher, Miss Bradley.
Oh, hi!
Well, I think it's because each of us helps to keep the room quiet when we're working. But we're not quiet all the time.
You're not?
No, we know there are times and places to be quiet, and other times and places when we can make noise if we want to.
Like a Metallica
For
concert.
example, when we play, we make all the noise we want.
Lots of noise.
It's part of the fun of the game. But when we go to the library, we are very quiet because we know it's a room where we read to ourselves.
And we know Big Brother is always watching.
When we watch movies, we are careful not to make too much noise.
Because the FBI guy in the back
That
practically
way we
invented
can hear
waterboarding.
and learn more. And you know, we have found that knowing when to be quiet is a part of growing up.
Daddy says this is something Mommy hasn't mastered yet.
Offices where people work are busy but quiet.
Until Phil goes postal
that
and brings a
is the way
rifle to
we
work.
keep our room. Because a quiet room helps all of us learn.
How do you do it?
Well, each of us knows how to work quietly. That's very important,
Will you show us?
of course. Boys and girls, how would you like to show some of the ways we know of being quiet?
No!
Well, while we pretend to be working, who would like to show how we work quietly at our desk?
Now, why is Bobby clearing his desk?
Because he's going to do a tap dance on it.
Oh, now there won't be anything to fall off and make noise.
Except for those things.
You keep on your desk only things you need. That's part of keeping the room quiet. Uh-oh, the point broke.
And it was much too loud. You are a
You
failure.
have to sharpen the pencil.
With his teeth.
Can he move quietly so he doesn't disturb anyone?
As long as he avoids the large piles of broken glass and preset mousetraps that litter the floor. Missed me!
Do you think you could walk this quietly?
Well, yeah, if I glue pieces of felt to my shoes
Listen
too.
to this work sound.
Work, 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 work,
When
work,
he
work.
turns it slowly, it doesn't bother anyone.
This is a familiar motion for
Work
Bobby,
sounds tell that you're busy. They don't disturb others.
who are obviously already quite disturbed.
But June seems to have lost something.
Now, where did I put that virginity of mine? It's somewhere around here. Clomp, 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 clomp.
Look, an eraser.
Being much too
Whose
noisy.
do you think it is? Bobby won't talk to June, will he?
June, is this your eraser? Yes, thank you. You're welcome.
Please leave me alone.
Whispering is the quiet way to talk, when you have to talk.
Remember, children should neither be seen nor heard.
Well, Bobby has moved about quite a bit without disturbing the class. Could you do all that as quietly as Bobby did?
Now let's suppose Bobby wanted to get something from the cabinet.
Like a suicide pill.
How would you do it quietly, Bobby?
Wrong! Can I please get something out of the cabinet? Clomp, 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 clomp. Boom. Want to eat some paste with me later?
Bobby certainly knows the quiet way of working by himself, doesn't he?
He lives a lonely, sheltered life.
All of us have to, if our room is to be a good place to work.
I think her clock is broken.
Now, Bobby has shown us some of the ways of working quietly by ourselves. Who would like to show how we work quietly in a reading group?
Zigheil!
All right, bring your chairs up.
Oh, moving chairs will certainly be noisy.
Hey, who glued my chair to the floor?
Well, there is a quiet way to move chairs, isn't there?
Yeah, just turn off the microphones as soon as the kids pick up the chairs.
There wasn't much noise at all. No one was disturbed.
I want to end my life now. Me too, please let me die. Oh God, I want to die.
You're awful bright and cheery this morning.
And look, they all have their books with them.
As we can clearly see from this
Now
angle.
they can get started without having to wait for any children to get ready.
Good. Now, we'll read A Day at the Fair on page 24.
And then start the Da Vinci
Let's
Code.
read the first paragraph silently to find out who's going
Oh,
to the
are you
fair.
kidding me, lady? This class is such a joke.
All the children are quiet while they read, aren't they?
Tragically, they were all born without voice boxes.
Who can tell us who is going to the fair?
A day.
Philip.
Mary, Mother, and Father.
That's right.
See how no one else talks when someone is speaking?
Except the narrator.
It's fun to work together that
I got
way.
nothing, I just needed to stretch my legs.
Do you think you could work together that well?
Yeah, if we were conditioned like Pavlov's dogs over there.
Now we're going to show you how we work quietly together in another way. Who wants to show how we're quiet when we work on our model farm?
Quietly.
All right, go ahead.
Quietly.
Now you return to your desk, and we'll all pretend again that...
How will the children work quietly here?
Rudy, where should I put the tractor?
Stick it where the sun don't shine.
Mary.
They speak very quietly. When one speaks, the others listen. That's polite. They stay near the table. They are not bothering children working nearby.
Out of fear of retaliation.
And see how well they work together and do things together?
Hey, watch the hands, little guy.
Now let's see. Have we shown you everything?
Yes!
We saw that there are times for noise and fun, such as play periods,
Whoosh!
and times for quiet and work, such as the library or our classroom.
Or a library.
And we saw some ways of working quietly. You remember how Bobby showed us ways to work quietly by yourself,
Quietly.
and how we talk together quietly when we read or tell stories,
Quietly.
and how we work together quietly
Come over.
when we work in groups.
Quietly.
Those are some of the important ways we help keep our room quiet. Thank you, children. Now, let's get back to work.
Does anybody know what time
go ahead and
lunch
pass
is?
me those
'Cause I'm
scissors.
really
You just hand
hungry
me the
right
paper
now. I
that's
just
over
really
there.
want to
Does
get
anybody
going
know
back
when
to the
lunch is?
house.
Is it
Does
almost
anybody
time to
know
go
when I
home?
can go home?
This is a good room, isn't it? A good room to work in, to learn in.
To commit silent
Do
suicide
you
in.
know some things you can do to help make your room a quiet place for work?
I think the easiest thing is just not to have kids. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you've enjoyed...